I think it's safe to say that tie rod's shot. So today I'm going to show you guys how to put new inner and outer tie rods on a GMC Sierra or Chevy Silverado. Not a real difficult job, but let's get into it. You get to listen to the sounds of nature because the birds are going nuts out here right now. So we'll start by getting the wheel off. Obviously we'll pry our center cap off and 22mm socket. Throw our wheel under the vehicle as always, just as a safety in case the jack stand fails. The outer tie rod, or what some people like to call the tie rod end, number one, you can see it's really sloppy, but the biggest problem we got is right back here, the inner tie rod here. I don't know if you can see this on the camera. I'm going to try to get it, but there is a ton of slop in this joint. As a matter of fact, it's probably about ready to just come apart. First thing I'm going to do, turn the wheel all the way toward the side you're working on, just to give you more room to work. Throw on my gloves because I don't like skinting knuckles. And we're going to start under here. Now some of these you may have a cotter pin to deal with. The one we're putting back on will have a cotter pin. This one does not, so we're just going to grab our 18mm and break this guy loose. It wasn't too tight. I cheat a little bit to save some time. Now there's several ways to separate this from the knuckle here. You know, you can tap on the bottom. You can use your little pickle fork tool in here, or you can just smack it on the side a few times. And she usually comes loose. Now that she's loose, you can really see the slop in that inner. I mean, that's bad. That's real bad. So, the next thing you're going to need to do, it's going to be kind of hard to see. There's a lot of gunk, but the inner tie rod end, it is kind of a nut surface right there. I'm not sure if you can see that very good on camera, but you're going to need either a 36mm wrench or an adjustable wrench that'll open up far enough to grab a hold of that. Make sure you get it nice and snug if you're using an adjustable wrench. The last thing you want to do is strip this out, make it harder on you, and we're just going to loosen that up. There we go. Now we got her broke loose. Yeah, once you get her broke loose, you can usually spin it off fairly easy with your hand. And keep turning, she eventually comes off. Now you can really see all that play in it. Well, look at your outer tie rod first, or what some people call the tie rod end. You've got a Zerk fitting right there to grease it. Now, if you look down at this joint, you'll notice you do not have a Zerk fitting to grease it. But what you do have is a hole in the end, and your Zerk fitting is actually right here. So once you screw your inner tie rod in here, you can actually grease the inner tie rod through this Zerk fitting here. It'll just shoot grease up in here, and it'll push through, push into that hole in the end of your inner tie rod and grease that fitting up. Anyway, moving along, I like to assemble my new inner and outer tie rod end before I install them. That way I can kind of try to match the length. Now, anytime you replace a steering component like this, you're going to want to get an alignment done. But if you can get the new part as close as possible to the same length as the part you took off, then the alignment should be pretty close enough to limp by on until you can get to an alignment shop. And for our replacement parts, as usual, we're going to be using replacement parts from Detroit Axle on eBay. I will be putting eBay links in the description of this video. I'm required to let you know Bad Luck Garage is an eBay affiliate, so if you use my eBay links, we might get a small commission off that. It does not affect your price. It does help to support the channel so that we can keep making videos like this to help you guys out. So please use our links below and get the same parts we're using from Detroit Axle on eBay. So I can already see on this side, that nut is going to have to be screwed down, you know, at least halfway. So we'll go ahead and dial that down. So again, we want to get this as close to the same length as possible. Go ahead and start our new outer tie rod end on here. What I like to do is before I screw my zerk fitting into my new part, I will just kind of stick the zerk fitting from the old part just like this. That helps me kind of center that side up. And then down at this end, you know, obviously it's going to be less than ideal because of all the slop we have in the old one here, but I'm going to keep screwing my inner into my outer until my flat surface on the nuts right here, until they're pretty close to the same length. So I'm going to do that, and then once I get that done, I will run my jam nut up, but I won't tighten it yet because I still want to be able to rotate this to get everything lined up on the vehicle. Okay, so I've got these adjusted to where I feel like the length is really close. So again, I run my jam nut up, but I did not tighten it yet. So at this point, I will take my nut off of my new outer tie rod, and I'm going to go ahead and screw that in to the back of my new outer tie rod. And we'll snug that up. I think it's maybe a 7mm, something like that. I don't feel like looking for the wrench, so I'm just going to take my adjustable wrench and screw this in. You don't have to kill this, guys. It doesn't have to be super tight. There we go. So now we take our new tie rod and get it started. Start screwing it in here. And the only real torque spec I'm going to give you for this is good and tight. American Vehicle German torque spec, good and tight. Again, if you don't have a 36mm wrench and you're using an adjustable wrench like I am, just make sure you have it adjusted really well so that you don't round this off. Make sure your boot is on there as far as it'll go. And we're going to move to this end, and this is why we did not tighten up our jam nut yet, because we need to be able to rotate this. So I'm going to loosen my jam nut a little and just rotate this down, bring it over, bring it down in my steering knuckle, bring my jam nut up. Again, not tightening it yet. We're going to get the nut, tassel nut, that came with our new part. We're going to put the crown of it down, tighten that up, and we're going to torque this to 37 foot-pounds. You see we got a hole? It's almost lined up, but not quite. Now what we don't want to do is loosen that to make the hole line up. So what we'll do is we'll just snug it just a hair more. And if the hole lines up, we can slide our cotter pin through. We'll take our needle nose. And bend this one around this way. And I like to take the short one and bend it just around the side. That way our nut's locked in, we don't have to worry about this backing off. Now for your jam nut here, you can either use a 7/8 or a 22 millimeter wrench, or you can use an adjustable wrench if you don't have either one of those. You're going to need another wrench to hold the tie rod in. And then, you know, it's called a jam nut for a reason. You're just going to jam that in there, just snug it up. I apologize it got so dark. We are out in the carport and we just had a storm move in all of a sudden. So anyway, last thing we need to do here is we need to grease everything. So we're going to pop our grease gun on, give it a couple pumps, and we're just going to watch the boot. You may not be able to see it on the video, but I'm just going to watch the boot, and when I see that boot starts kind of expanding, then I know I've got plenty of grease in there. Yeah, and I can tell that boot's nice and full. I'm going to do the same thing with the little Zerk fitting way back here that I showed you. I'm going to pop my grease gun on here, and I'm just going to fill it up till I start to see this boot move. Honestly, the boot on this new one, I could slide it down a little. Yeah, and I can see my new grease is coming through. I'm just going to let you guys see that. As I'm squeezing this, you can see the grease that I'm pushing in is coming through there, and that's actually lubed really well. So we'll stick that back on, give it one more pump, and we'll call that good. Now we're just going to toss our wheel back on, start our lug nuts. Now these get torqued anywhere from 120 to 140 foot-pounds depending on which wheels you have. I know if I set my Milwaukee Impact on setting 2 and just double brap, like brap each bolt, it usually gets me in the 130-ish neighborhood. So that's what I'm going to do. What you're going to have to do if you want to use a torque wrench is you're going to have to set the vehicle down, obviously, so the wheel doesn't move, and torque these to 140 foot-pounds. Take your centerpiece for your wheel, smack it back on, and you're done. And that's how you install new inner and outer tie rod in your 99 through 06 or 07 Classic Chevy Silverado or GMC Sierra. If you want to see more general maintenance how-to videos for these trucks, check out the playlist. I will put it in the comments of this video. Now get out in the garage, get something done, and I'll see you next time here on Bad Luck Garage.